Hello and welcome back to episode 73 of the Post 20 podcast. My name is Evan. I am joined, as always, by my co host, Matt. We're coming at you a little late tonight, but what's going on, Matt?
Not much. I was telling you when we first got on the channel call, just mentally drained right now. We got long days at work with summer picking up and people starting to move down rentals for
hmm
this for the summer, and then we're kind of in the middle of the spring season for youth soccer, and my specific age groups are like the beginners, like U8, U9, which is, if you guys don't know listening, like second, third graders. There's a few first graders. They changed up like the way they break down the teams. Like
hmm
when we played, it was based on the school year system
Yeah,
with how they put you in your grades, and now it's whatever year you're born, that's the team you're on. So it differs with the school system. So like there's kids on my youngest team that are first and second graders, and then
right.
the older team it's like second and third graders. So I mean they're all new to the sport, and my expectations are always like to make them become the best players they can be. And right now it's like I'm starting to realize that that goal isn't really achievable because they're playing multiple sports and it's brand new to them, and they just really gotta get a feel for it.
Right. Yeah, I totally hear you. I mean, I don't know what that's like, but I can understand that that's probably frustrating from your perspective for
I
sure.
don't, I don't, I definitely know you wouldn't last more than 2 weeks
No,
with with this group of kids.
my bullshit, how much bullshit I put up with. It's not much. You are a far more patient person. That is for certain. Um, yeah, I don't think would be for me. Honestly, I get way too frustrated. Just with
Yeah,
well, when they're young kids, it's not stupidity, right? It's just naivety. They don't know any better. But with
yeah, and it's
stupidity,
like
especially,
their mind, like they're just their brains haven't developed
yeah,
enough
of
to where
course,
they can hold more conversations longer than 30 seconds, or
yeah,
focusing on one particular thing. Like a lot of the times I'll bring them into a little huddle and we'll go over what we just did. Like today specifically, a main problem we've been having, even throughout the past in the fall, even like building out from the back, which is why in 7v7 now they have a build out line specifically drawn on the field to where defenders can't pass it on goal kicks until there's contact made from the first players, just to give them opportunity to have time and clear it out of the back, that type of thing. So
yeah,
just getting it out wide and playing it up the wing and getting crosses in, that was the main thing I wanted, and we kind of achieved it. But it's just when they're all spread out across, like I make a big grid, kind of like a game situation,
hmm
and I have to scream just so they all hear me. It's like they're off in their own worlds. So
yeah,
it's just little things. Like I'm only 2 3 years into it, and I'm still trying to figure out things that work for that particular age. And the one thing I'm learning more is like the less times you can put them in lines, the
hmm
better.
yeah,
So, I mean, I could go on, but we're here
yeah.
for other things. There's other things going on in the bigger stages of the game.
Yeah. So while youth soccer is, it kind of seems like they've like bastardized youth soccer a little bit. Like it's strange, like the build out line and all that stuff. I think you lose
Yeah.
an aspect. Well, there's an added layer of like complexity. When you add rules like that.
Hmm.
I know it's supposed to make the game more accessible, but I feel like it kind of does the opposite. Like it's adding a rule that will later be removed, and
Yeah,
it's just it's a crutch, you know.
it's like U8 to U10, they'll be playing 7v7 with the build out, and then once they hit U11, they'll move to a bigger field. It'll open up to 9v9, and there's no build out line. So I mean, it's really for those kids that just don't have great footwork. It's
Right.
just to give them more opportunities, but it tactically puts me or makes me play my stronger players in the back so we can
hmm
clear it, because I don't want to get pinned down for 30 straight
Yeah,
minutes
of
in our half.
course. Yeah.
And that's another thing I was hoping to work on today, but just couldn't,
Mm.
was that transition from defense to offense, moving up with the field. Because a lot of the times when the ball's on one side of the field, and I'm telling people specifically if the ball's on the left side of the field, on my right mid is all the way on the left side. We lose in our shape and we're pinned all to one side. All they have to do is make one pass and everybody has to chase. It's just telling them to be positionally aware, stop following the ball like a dog, like a mindless animal. Like, it's getting out of that bumblebee style, and it's really frustrating. The most frustrating thing is the competition we're playing is the best in the South Jersey has to offer right
Right.
now. Like, both teams are in the top flight or second flight,
Yeah.
and we're playing clubs where the registration fee is like quadruple ours. So
Right.
you're getting kids that are more serious about the sport. They're spending more time training on soccer rather than multiple sports, if only maybe one other sport they play. And they're getting more results rather than what we're doing is like more of an extension of rec, babysitting kind of thing. And I can't get what I want done.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I hope that changes for you, but that definitely sounds rough right now. Sounds brutal.
I had to talk with the big man, the DOC today, so things should be changing in the fall.
My former trainer, the uh
Yeah.
the head of trainers now, right?
Yeah, he's
Beast.
he let me he let me in a little bit of backstory. Got things going on behind the scenes, so things are on the up for the fall, I'd say.
He knows a lot, man. He's easily the best coach I ever had. I mean,
Yeah.
just like mentally on top of knowing what he was actually talking about. Like a manager of men, you would say. Unlike Jose Mourinho, who has been fired.
Yeah, you literally called that a week or two ago. You
I
were
know,
spot
man.
on.
I,
So next thing's Harry Kane,
yeah, and I mean, as soon as that happens, I'll be 2 for 2 on Tottenham's downfall, which makes me just so giddy.
and it doesn't help him getting hurt. That hurts their chances even more.
I
But
saw, yeah, I know. It seems like he put on a couple pounds in this like little time that he hasn't been playing too. I saw a picture of him the other, like literally last night because they had
mhm.
a what was that Carabao Cup last night.
What do you mean?
Didn't they play yesterday? Spurs.
Yeah, they played in the league.
Oh, it was the league game. It was the league game.
They
Yeah.
played Saturday against City in the League Cup final. What you're saying?
Yeah, so I had that. I had those two things switched up. And he didn't play last night. And he looked really rough, man,
Yeah.
on the sideline. So, um, yeah, Jose Mourinho. Well, we'll get into this. We have to talk about the Super League thing, although it has blown up at this point. I mean, it's not going to happen. It doesn't look like.
I'm glad that we didn't jump on it right away because we got more information and
Yeah.
we really saw the whole thing play out. I don't think much more is going to come out of the story.
No,
So
I don't
we can
either.
we can totally cap off everything that went through from start to finish.
Yeah, so I'm not going to give you guys dates, but the European Super League was a proposed. I want to call it an American model because that's kind of what it was. It was kind of like a franchised superstar league where you had what was it, 8, 9? How many teams? I don't even
There were
remember.
there were 12 inaugural teams, 6
Okay.
from England, 3 from Italy, and 3 from Spain.
Okay. So yeah.
They all agreed. I'm sure PSG and Dortmund and Munich were the 3 others that rejected it straight away,
Yeah.
but there were 15 in total, I think.
So Sunday morning was the deadline that was set to hand in all the paperwork for all the 12 clubs that wanted to participate in the league. City was initially the British team that took the most convincing, and they were also the second team to jump out.
Yeah.
Um, Surprisingly, I thought Chelsea was the team that was first to duck out of it. I thought that was so shocking.
Yeah, I mean, I think they had more on the line, especially with like currently both teams are in their respective Champions League semis. So you had that whole drama. I mean, that's later on, but yeah, it's crazy with the whole American ownerships kind of wanting to make more money.
That's where it comes from. It's greed.
And like I've heard some perspectives, like my dad said, it was kind of like a bailout, like how
Mm-hmm.
cities get bailed out for mismanaging their funds and that.
That is
And
what it was.
it was kind of like this past year of dealing with no ticket sales and downward in other departments of revenue. So they're just looking to make a quick buck. And I mean if they agreed to join, I think they got $425 million straight up, rather
Yeah,
to like 100 and some for even winning just the Champions League. You have to win the whole thing.
yeah.
So I mean, if you look at it from a business perspective, that's a smart move. And they weren't even gonna sell the TV rights to American companies or other companies. I think Chinese. They were trying to show games off of their own exclusive TV
Platform.
platforms just to grow that, which is smart, to get more, like kind of how almost every single network is like having their own exclusive, like
Yeah, streaming
Netflix,
platform.
Hulu. Yeah, that's what they're trying to go, which is smart because things are going digital now and they're just trying to get a jump start on that. But I mean, just the response from fans was absolutely bonkers. I mean, you would expect people to be against it, but this was an issue that collectively the media, the fans, even members of boards and execs at the club, like everybody rallied behind this.
Which is shocking because that's such a rare thing in the world.
Yeah.
Everyone rallying. Like, you saw people from all sides, no matter their political affiliation, their relationship with capitalism, because that's what this comes down to ultimately, right?
Hmm.
Um, Everyone. I mean, people on the right, people on the left, people that support entirely different clubs. Everyone came together and kind of rallied against this thing. And I don't know how you feel about it. I understand the league's purpose. I understand why it was, the idea was conceived. I think for some clubs it meant more. Like if you look at Madrid, who are in immense debt, if you look at Tottenham, who are in actual ridiculous debt and will probably have to liquidate their club, it makes more sense for those clubs to be involved. There's only one team that has operated in a profit in the past year, and it's actually Chelsea. So it does make sense as to why they'd be the first to leave. But I want to make it clear to everyone that's watching, I was opposed. I mean, it sounded interesting at first when we talked about it a couple months ago, but when I realized that it meant full exclusivity, players could only play in the ESL, European Super League, I was out. I mean, I am too in love with the way that football works in terms of its scheduling. I love the international game. I love the European game, and then I love the domestic game. And at each part of every year, we kind of get these things, and it's special when it comes back. And I think when you take these players out of, many competitions and just let them play in one, it becomes less special. And I don't think that money needs to be the bottom line in football. I think it is about the fans more than it is in many other sports, especially because of the roots in England. It's just such a big thing. So I was glad to see it die.
Yeah, there's so much history behind the sport in all these different countries, and I think different clubs will have different repercussions. I think England, I think they're saying like clubs want them removed from next year's competitions, or some were saying they should be removed from the current season. They should be null there. I saw the Champions League boards were saying that the teams that are involved that are still in European competition should be removed. And I mean, all this stuff fell through. Everything people have been threatening and saying, like, they're not going to do it. It's just going to affect the things going on now. And it's not going to make sense because in the end, it's going to hurt the fans and the players. And
Right.
there's nothing you can do, or I shouldn't say nothing. There's very few things you can do to affect the people behind this without
Hurting people in front of
hurting
them.
innocent like
Yeah.
bystanders, whether it's the managers, the coaches, the staff at the club, the players, the fans. Like anything they do is going to affect them. I think the most recent thing they're saying is they're removing these people involved from committees, which I don't think is going to do anything because you're not hurting anything. Yeah, they'll have less say on different things, but they're still high in the high status of the club.
Mhm.
I mean, we did see that Ed Woodward's resigning after the year, which Zach was happy about. I know you were
Yeah.
happy about it,
Rest
and
in piss, Ed Woodward, you fucking cheap bastard.
yeah, he was the executive vice president, I think, or vice chairman
Yeah.
of the club.
Vice chairman, I think.
and he was involved. I think he was on like UEFA's board of some sorts. He was on one, and the Juventus president was on like a
Yeah.
chairman of one of them. So
Andrea Agnelli, I think his name is.
yeah, he turned out to be the biggest snake of them all. The UEFA president came out hard against him because I think there were meetings last Friday about securing like deals with these clubs, and Sunday they just flipped on him and jumped out like this. And I think the biggest quote I saw out there statement was from Florentino Perez, the
Mhm.
president of Real Madrid. He said that well he's saying that the league's not out yet. Like they're just
Yeah.
gonna put it on ice. And Real Madrid and Barcelona are the only ones that haven't said anything about stopping it.
Yeah.
Like I don't like they'll do it. For Perez said this is what I thought was strong was he said if people made it feel like they were killing the game of football like by making this league. It's just something so drastic and
It's just
it's
not
gonna
the way
be
to do it, I think.
yeah. I think they went the wrong way about it. I
Mhm.
don't think it could ever happen like that. I don't think you're ever gonna have a league with like the biggest clubs. Like that's something you do on FIFA if you're bored. Like you'll put all
Exactly.
the biggest clubs in one league and just let it play out like that. And yeah, like you said, like those games don't become as special like an El Clasico or
Yeah.
like a Manchester derby, like those type of games. And it's not fair to the players either because you're making them have to choose. And pretty much every single player came out against it. So I don't know. It's just something so crazy that happened and ended. It just burned out so fast.
Yeah, it was just crazy, and at first, I mean, the first day I heard about it, I was talking in some group chats, and some of my friends were like, "It'll be fine. I'm gonna watch regardless." And I kind of understand, but like, I don't think that you can just kind of approach something like this and just say it'll be fine because it does change the fabric of the scene, whether we want to admit that or not. I'm not a UEFA and a FIFA stan. Like, trust me, these are horrible, horrible, horrible organizations, and they are corrupt, and they have been corrupt for since their inception. They're building a fucking stadium in Qatar on top of the bodies of dead slaves, people that
Yep.
they literally are enslaving to build stadiums. Like when something is so fucked up that it makes me root for FIFA and UEFA, it's probably pretty sinister. And
Yeah.
I think that this European Super League was kind of just like your dad said, it was a bailout. That's what it was. And they didn't introduce it in the right manner. And the forced exclusivity, telling players they can't play for the country they want to play for. I mean, the minute they told players that, it was dead because players do value that. And I think it would be criminal to tell a player, you can't play for your flag. That's fucked up.
Yeah. It's like the total opposite to the NBA. The NBA over the past 10, 20 years has become more player oriented and
Right.
it's run by the players more than the organizations. It seems like they have more power than the owners and stuff at times.
Yeah.
But I
It's
mean,
crazy.
I don't know. I don't think it's ever gonna change that drastically. But by Paris saying like they're just gonna put it on hold and that, and he never said they're gonna back down. I don't know. It's interesting to see what's gonna happen in the next 5 to 10 years. But I mean, as the years go on, I think more money's gonna get poured into the game because there's gonna be more fans. I think the next generation is gonna be more into soccer and like more people are gonna play soccer rather than like football and other things. Specifically talking about in America.
Yeah.
Like I think if that's why NBC is like huge on the TV rights for the Premiership because the more exposure they get in America, the more money that gets poured into the game overall. That's where I think those other leagues are kind of falling behind. They need like how Gold TV and Fox Soccer Network back in the day had La Liga and Bundesliga games on all the time. Like me personally, like you have to kind of go out of your way to find these Bundesliga, La Liga, Liga 1 games to really watch like your favorite players or like upcoming players that you never heard of to really get a well understanding of the world of the game overall. I don't know. I think that's where the next stage is to get more money into it.
Yeah, I can definitely get where you're coming from. Sorry, my
Yeah.
brain is literally shutting down. We'll have to move past the Super League. I mean, the bottom line is it's dead, right? The evil that we were maybe perhaps facing
Yeah.
is finished now for now. So that's a really nice thing.
Yeah. We're
Um,
just seeing the aftermath of what's gonna happen discipline wise.
I mean, dude, I was looking at a fucking debt chart, not a depth chart, but a debt chart of what these teams are operating on. Tottenham are like $1 billion in debt because of the stadium.
Well, yeah, that was recent. I know Chelsea's always been looking to upgrade their stadium.
Yeah, but well, the reason that they aren't in debt is because they're still playing at Stamford Bridge, which is like old as fuck.
Yeah, and we had a transfer ban, so we couldn't spend money there.
Yeah, that's true. It's just crazy. Like, it's so insane to see the some of the debts that these clubs are operating with. Like, how are they operating being $1 billion in debt? Well, I guess you could ask that question. How does the United States function being like, I don't know how many trillion dollars in debt we are, but it's such a crazy thing. And the whole thing was financed by JP Morgan, which is it,
Yeah, Americans.
it was I read like a financial report on the league and it said I'll say this quick before we move on. It was financed on debt, which I don't understand that concept. I'm not an economist or I don't understand the way that money works. We'd have to
I mean, look
have
at the stimulus checks.
I mean, I guess, but is that this I guess you could kind of look at it that way. That it was just sort of a stimulus for the clubs, right?
In a way, I
But
don't
they
know.
owed something back instead. Like we didn't owe anything. Well,
Their government,
taxes.
their governments aren't working to help them open up the stadiums and bring fans back, so they were just trying to find a different way. And then the governments respond by saying we're going to work to our best abilities and within the powers we have to make it stop. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Everybody just wants things to stay the way they are for their
Yeah.
personal reasons, and then
I certainly do. I
yeah,
think
I
a
don't
lot
know.
of things need to be changed, but I don't think this would have solved. I think there is a way to solve these problems, but I don't think this was the right way, which seems to be the consensus among most people. I think that's kind of how we all feel.
Yeah,
So rest in piss, Super League. Florentino Perez, scumbag. Um, yeah, he actually is a scumbag. He's been a scumbag for a long time. So this
yeah.
shouldn't surprise anybody, to be quite honest.
I think karma's gonna come back. I'm gonna bet huge money on Chelsea at first leg.
Oh, 100%, dude. And standing ovation to Roman Abramovich. I mean, can't believe I'm saying it. Absolute king of the scum he is. But um, cheers to Chelsea Football Club for being the first one to step down. I knew it wouldn't be Arsenal because Kroenke's a fucking bastard. I mean, he was apparently he was the one that said, to the rest of the English clubs, you guys got to get in on this. It was him and the United
The
Glazers,
Glazers.
yeah, the which are both American owners. They told everybody else get on, or the ship's leaving without you. And
Yeah, them and the Liverpool guy put out apology videos and messages like, I don't give a fuck, dude. You did what you did. You gotta lay in your own bed.
yeah, exactly. Like your fans aren't going to give up, or your fans aren't going to forgive you for that. And I think that's going to be an interesting thing. You're going to see a lot of fans that retain this anger. Liverpool fans especially. I mean, people have already removed flags from the Kop, and that's Liverpool's club identity. That's not
Hmm.
like a small deal.
Yeah,
Um,
after the Ed Woodward announcement, Tottenham fans jumped right on it. Fucking sack Levy.
yeah, exactly. He should be sacked. I mean, he's the owner, but it's just insane, crazy shit. Talking about Tottenham, we're gonna get into our recaps here. Um,
Yeah. Real quick before we talk about the first game, I went as predicted in my own head. I did terrible. I went 3-6.
Mm-hmm.
Coin flip did not work out today, obviously. And then Evan with a respectable 5-4.
We'll take it. I'm positive. It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Cool. Okay. So now we'll get into these. Sorry for the way that we're moving through the episode today. Matt and I are both fucking exhausted. So
Yeah.
you have to forgive us. We didn't want to push until tomorrow. I didn't even we didn't even talk about what we had going on tomorrow, but I'm busy as fuck anyway, so
Yeah, I got another makeup practice tomorrow because the rain earlier in the week. It always seems to rain Monday and Wednesdays,
I know, dude, it's
which is
brutal.
my training days.
Yeah. Makeup practices are we're always the worst. Okay. Everton 2, Tottenham 2. I am just always shocked to see how fraudulent Tottenham are. I mean, they went ahead in the 27th with a fantastic Harry Kane goal, as you would have expected, and managed to somehow only walk away with a point. Gylfi Sigurdsson, who is 90 years old, a 90-year-old Viking from Iceland, put 2 past this shambolic Tottenham defense.
Mm-hmm.
Kane has to be looking to leave. I mean, he has to be ready to leave. One of Gylfi's goals was a penalty, by the way, so it was one great goal. But man, that first goal was a fucking, or not the first goal. Was it the second one? He scored a screamer in this game.
Yeah, Harry Kane doing Harry Kane type things. I mean, Bale's already going to be on his way out. He wants to go back to Spain to play on his links.
Yep.
And then I'm sure Harry Kane. I don't see Liverpool or Spurs finishing in the top 6.
No, no way.
Well, 100% not top 4. They'll be lucky they get in the top 6. But yeah, your predictions were on about Jose getting sacked, and now interim manager Ryan Mason, who played for Spurs not too long ago.
Yeah.
Which is wild. I mean, we'll get to that game later, how he did, but should be interesting to see how they close out the year. Harry Kane picking up knocks here and there, so I don't really know. And Everton's banged up team as well. I mean, half their team's hurt, and we've been saying DCL's slack and James is inconsistent with his minutes, whether he's got injury issues, illness, or whatever. But yeah, Spurs doing Spurs types things.
Yeah, I really can't expect anything else. I think it's a decent result for Everton.
Yeah, 100%.
Allen back finally. They definitely missed him. But if they don't have Allen and DCL and a full strength midfield otherwise, like with Gomez and Doucouré, it's always a tough thing. I don't know why they're playing James up top. That continues to surprise me because he is not quick whatsoever.
Yeah, it just comes down to your depth chart and what you got. And behind DCL, you have Richarlison, who's not a lone striker type guy. And then after that, they don't really have anybody.
Yeah. Okay, moving on to fraudulence, which I was not expecting. Newcastle 3, West Ham 2. Craig Dawson got a red card for West Ham in the 36th minute and just stunted them. Diop also scored an own goal in that transgression. And then Joelinton added another one before halftime in the 41st. It wasn't until the second half where West Ham managed to get one back. They actually got 2 back. Diop, after scoring an own goal, got a brace with an actual goal. And then, I was kind of surprised. And then Lingard got himself a penalty, but wasn't enough to get any points from this meeting with Newcastle. Newcastle scraping the bottom of the barrel, 34% possession, 16 shots, 8 shots on target. Clinical, I would say, when we consider how many goals they managed to get with those shots. But
I'm surprised you didn't mention the winning goal was your boy Joe Willock again.
Oh, it was, yeah.
He got subbed on the 80th minute. 2 minutes later, he scored the winner off a cross, headed it right past Fabianski. Fabianski had a bad game that day.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
it was like
Willock's,
it was the total opposite of the Leicester game we watched
yeah,
together. I think like West Ham went up 3-0, and then the second half came and they just pulled their foot off the or let their foot off the pedal. It was one of those moments because then the momentum carried for West Ham and they got the VAR decision off a Lingard penalty, and it was looking good for them. I mean, we were watching it and texting each other, and I think that we jinxed it
yeah,
with Willock, but it do be your own guys sometimes.
yeah, I really do. And I think when you see Suchek was rather quiet in this game, and when you see the guys in
Yeah,
the midfield here, Suchek, Kufal's another one. When you see them not getting involved as much, it's certainly more of a problem. Bowen played up top in this game. He's another one that you kind of want situated more in your midfield. So just just like a really shit result. I was expecting a great performance from West
mm,
Ham, especially coming after that thriller that they had against Leicester, but they fell flat here. This looked like the West Ham of old,
yeah.
and I don't. I'm really curious as to like where should I be setting my expectations for them next year, because it could be really interesting.
I think that all depends on the summer market. With like we said, they need to keep Lingard and build up around him for a spine of the team. And I mean, currently, I think the last two games they've been without Antonio, their main
Hmm.
striker, their point guy. He's the main guy, holds up the play, and then they're missing their backbone in the midfield and Declan Rice. He cleans a lot of things up, allows Suchek to push forward with a little bit more freedom. Mark Noble in there isn't as mobile as he used to be, and he's not the most on the height scale. It's a big drop off from Rice, about 5-6 inches. So aerially, they're weaker there in the midfield. So there's a lot of things like that that fundamentally is different for David Moyes to work with, and we're seeing without them, they get into absolute barn burners. Even Newcastle scored three against them,
Yeah,
and that's that second one, or even the first two goals for Newcastle were lucky. It was
yeah,
at the freaking a shot saved by Fabianski, Diop right on top of him and just kicks it in. And then the second one, Fabianski had a mistake off a cross and just fell right to Jellington. But that's the type of things you need to happen in the league for these lower level teams to get some confidence in their sides to really push forward and get these points in key matches. So I'm really looking forward to Chelsea playing West Ham next week. I think this is the best time we can play them. I don't know if we're in the best form right now, especially after our recent result, but I would say this is the best time we can play them right now in a fourth and fifth matchup to decide who's going to have momentum finishing the year out to close out that fourth position.
yeah. I totally hear you. I mean, I am just absolutely I'm just mauling that Newcastle are gonna stay up. I wanted them to go
Yeah.
down. I really
Yep.
did. I'm tired of watching them. Like,
Yeah, they're 8 points clear now with a game in hand.
yeah, they're not gonna go down. It's fucking pissing me off. I'm tired of watching them. Really, really tired. But they survive another year. They're kind of like cockroaches. Cut their head off, they still fucking manage to stay alive.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on from the cockroaches to I don't know if Newcastle are cockroaches. I don't know what Sheffield are. Like they're so fucking bad, man.
They're just pure sludge.
They're literally just like ooze, primordial ooze, sewage.
Just grease that comes out of the burger.
Yeah. Wolves 1 is Sheffield United 0. Unfortunate because I think we both were rooting for Sheffield coming into the season. We both expected a
I
certain
mean, we
caliber of
both we
play.
both had them mid-table, like high mid-table.
I mean, they have like 14 points this season. It
It's
is
the worst. It's the worst of all time.
it's the worst season tally of all time. They've already secured that record. Wolves managed to win behind one sole Willian Jose goal in the 60th minute. Not a fantastic performance for Wolves, offensively suspect as they have been in recent weeks, but they managed to get themselves a couple decent results in a row here. 2 on the bounce now after losing 2 and drawing the one before that. Things are looking up for Wolves. Looks like they'll be safe, which is nice because I think next season they'll be much better.
Yeah.
Not anything to really write home about here. Figured it would maybe be a little more than 1-0. I had a buddy that asked me if it would go over 2.5. I said absolutely not. Bet the
Smart.
under. And that's what happened. So I was good. Not. I mean, pretty full strength team for Wolves, and this is the kind of result that they're capable of giving you right now. So just can't ask for
Yeah.
much more.
Yeah, with this result, it officially relegates Sheffield. They mathematically can't get out of it. So, and I mean, I would say candidate for signing worst signing of the season has to be Ryan Brewster. For the price tag and the amount of money that the club has at Sheffield to spend 30 million pounds for him from Liverpool, it's like an absolute letdown. It has to be top 5 in the for the season in the Prem specifically. What they expected out of him, at least 10, 15 goals to keep him up, and he hasn't gotten one yet, I don't think. It's just absolutely terrible. And I mean, the injuries don't help either with everything going on. I mean, they've had Jagielka play back there who's 50 years old, and
Yeah, he is.
then they have a bunch of other guys on loan that just don't have that fight to stay up. And obviously, they had the whole fallout with Chris Wilder. So it's been an absolute implosion at Bramall Lane. And
Yeah.
it's really sad to see. And I'm upset because I didn't bet on this game. I said like a 1-0. This is it here for Wolves. And I would have won money, but didn't go with my intuition and things happen. But we
Yeah.
move forward.
Indeed. We move. Okay, moving on. Arsenal 1, Fulham 1. Conflicted here. But by the time that penalty went in, I was rooting for Arsenal again in full strength. Arsenal not really playing it for anything. Fulham are playing to stay up. So that's why I was conflicted.
Mm-hmm.
Arsenal absolutely dominated. We didn't have Leno. Matt Ryan started, but we had a nice back line. Xhaka actually slotting in, playing left back because Tierney has a bit of an awareness, as the Chelsea physio staff would put it. I think he has it's a leg injury of some sort. I don't remember when that happened. I think we watched that game live, maybe the Liverpool game. But he's been injured with that. And then Elneny and Ceballos in the midfield, not the best, but they were okay. Martinelli, ESR, and Saka as that 3 behind Lacazette, I thought were absolutely fantastic. A lot of life, a lot of opportunities, especially in the early game. But we did concede first. I just scored a pen. Kind of bullshit, but it is what it is. And it wasn't until Lacazette came off with an injury that Nketiah managed to get us one back in the 97th minute. It was
Controversial.
so it was, yeah, and it was so fucking late. Arsenal should have gone up earlier in the game, but Saka was called offside on some aids.
Yeah, by his
So
shoelace.
fucking VAR, dude. Like, I'm just tired of VAR.
Yeah, that offsides compared to the goal that you guys inevitably scored was, I mean, it was a shot,
Yeah,
saved by Areola. Rob Holding was in the vicinity of the play, but in my opinion, I think it was the right call.
yeah,
The not offsides. He wasn't making an attempt at the ball, and he made no obstruction to the play to affect Areola's really how he saved the ball. Obviously, in the back of your mind, he's seeing him there, so you might think he is affecting the play, but
yeah,
it's too subjective, and I think the right call was made. And I mean, if you want to get real serious about it, Fulham should not be in that position where that is there. Like, you
yeah,
cannot be giving these opportunities to this team in that situation. You're fighting for safety, and week after week, this is 3 straight weeks now where they've just dropped it in the last 10 minutes of the game, and
yeah,
it's just that I don't know, I would be so frustrated. I'm frustrated now with my kids, but if I'm Scott Parker, man, like, he's
yeah.
beside himself. You just see him, like, he didn't even celebrate the magic goal. He just knew, like,
Yep.
okay, we have the lead again. We're in a good spot, but they are the worst team that this year in the Prem when they have a lead. They've dropped 13 points from winning positions now in the league away, and it's the worst. And they just don't know how to hold leads. It's insane. They're just jinxed. They just can't get out of their own way.
Yeah, I think if if Fulham go down, that you may see clubs like Tottenham or looking for a manager like Scott Parker. His name
Oh
is
yeah.
out there. I mean, his name is really out there. I think people are very impressed with the way that he carries himself, the way that he speaks to the referees, the way that he coaches his team, and I think people understand that it's his players and it's not him. Um,
Isn't the Crystal Palace job opening? Didn't Hodgson say he's retiring after this
yes,
year?
yes, he did. That was another team that I heard. But I'm
Yeah.
hearing murmurs about Tottenham. I think that would really
Yeah.
make me conflicted. I don't know what I would do.
I mean, that is another former club he played for. I think he spent more time there than Fulham.
Yeah. So we'll have to see. I think that he could actually be a fantastic manager. I think he has a lot of wit about the game. I just kind of really do blame the players here. Like you said, they're the worst team from winning positions in the Prem this year. That's just that's a real indictment of your mental strength, and
Yeah.
they played a very similar team really throughout the season. A lot of Lamina, a lot of Lookman, a lot of Cavallero. Maja kind of, came in at the end, but you have
Yeah.
Areola in goal. Aina's been in there, and Geese has been in there. These guys they have to improve. They have
Hmm.
to be better, and they haven't been this far, and they're going to go down because of it, and that's really unfortunate. I thought this may be the rebirth of Fulham, but I suppose it is not.
Yeah. And also, he's got the best drip out of
Oh,
all the managers. He's up there with Pep and Arteta.
yeah, it is fire. It is truly fire. I'd say they're in the top three. Um, Arsenal, I don't really have much to say about Arsenal. I mean, disappointing performance, really disappointing.
Unfortunate for Lacazette.
Yeah,
Looked like a
kind of
bad injury.
gutted for him. Um,
Hamstring. He'll probably be out for the season.
yeah, and he's old, so that's really gonna
Hard
probably
to
be a
recover.
problem for him. It's very unfortunate. It makes me kind of upset, but hopefully he'll be back next season. Hopefully they give him a fair contract negotiation as well. Alrighty. Next one, Man United 3, Burnley 1. And I knew this was going to happen. I had the over. I had Man United winning at the half. I had Man United winning at full time. And I forget what the other thing I had was. But it hit. But it didn't matter because Arsenal lost.
Somebody specifically to score.
No, it was something else. I forget. I'll think
Somebody in the
about it.
card or corners.
Oh, it was no red card. That's what it was. No red card in the game.
Hmm. What's
Uh,
that at like -500?
dude, it was minus 250.
Really?
I don't know how or why, but it was minus 250. I don't know if I had an odds
Good.
boost or what. Yeah, I thought it was ridiculous. I didn't think there'd be a card in this game. I didn't even know
Hmm.
if there'd be an actual yellow, but there was 3 yellows. Um, Dominating performance from United. 2 goals from Mason Greenwood, who's been electric the past,
Yeah.
I'd say 5, 6 weeks.
He's on.
And then another one from Cavani, who has been just so solid when he's in those late game situations. He scored past the 80th minute, I think 6 times this year already, which I saw the other day. That is a ridiculous stat for somebody who's not getting a lot of time. That is an obscene statistic.
A closer.
Yeah, if you've ever seen one, that's Mariano Rivera levels of closing. Um, but Burnley flat. Burnley also probably gonna go down, I think.
Yeah, they're the likely contender right now down there. They just got a bank on Fulham and West Brom dropping the bag.
Oh, actually, yeah, no, never mind. Burnley probably not gonna go down. Um,
Yeah.
Fulham
Well,
and West Brom are too far away.
yeah, they both can't string games together. West Brom did look like it, but
Yeah, no, they're
too big
they're
of clubs.
frauds.
Yeah, I mean Burnley kind when Tarkovsky hit that equalizer, kind of put questions in your mind like they might have a chance here to lock up a point, but yeah, Mason Greenwood the past 3 to 4 weeks has just been on.
He's been amazing. It's so surprising.
He just hits these spurts, and I think he did it last year, like towards the latter end of that season. Like he was just in form, and it just dropped off the following season. So
I mean, he probably has more stats than fucking Rashford this season in the Prem.
I think they're close.
They're
They're
probably
close.
close. That's a problem that they're close. Rashford, I think, is a bit of a fraud. I don't know how you feel about him, but
No, I think he's a solid player. I don't think you can put too much into it, too much thought into it. But
yeah. I mean, I guess they're kind of young, but I don't know. A lot of those
Rashford,
guys, I have a lot of questions about.
Rashford's got 10 goals in the Prem this season to Greenwood's 5.
Oh, all right. So not that close. But how many appearances does Greenwood have versus Rashford? Probably.
Greenwood's made 26 appearances this season to Rashford's 32.
All right. So, yeah, I mean, Rashford's having a better season, that's for sure. But he should be. He's making much more, you know, much more money and is in a better scoring position.
I mean, they've got the best form out of any team so far.
Yeah, they do. And they're kind of in sniffing distance of City, aren't they? Well, no, City managed to pull that
Eh,
win off yesterday, so
they're 11 behind.
yeah,
I mean,
it's
they still haven't lost a game in all competitions since that Sheffield loss
oh my god,
back
that
in
was forever ago.
the end of January. That was the last time they lost a match.
Yeah, I remember that. That was the game that I said I had a feeling about, right?
Yep.
That's funny.
Since then they've been on.
All right. Yeah, United continuing good form. We'll move on to a team that just can't seem to get themselves in consistent winning form. Liverpool. Leeds United versus Liverpool ended in a 1-1 draw. This was kind of amidst the crazy Super League bullshit.
Yeah.
Mane got himself on the score sheet, which I was surprised by.
Yeah.
And the roles were kind of reversed here. Leeds played a possession game, dominating 62 to Liverpool's 38% possession. Although Liverpool did manage to be the team that had more shots on target. I thought maybe this would kind of be reversed. I thought Leeds would levy that counterattack and really pelt that defense because we know that TAA and Robertson, especially with Kabak in the middle and Fabinho back there instead of playing in the midfield, can be susceptible to the counter. But that didn't happen. It was a really, really tight game. Diego Llorente, defender, was the one that managed to get a goal for Leeds back in the 87th, but Liverpool were in the driver's seat in terms of leading for most of the game. This was a decent result for Leeds. I think Liverpool still, I mean, they should be beating a team like Leeds right now.
Yeah, Leeds, I think the first team ever to have 50 goals for and 50 goals against. And being in a position where they're 10th is crazy with that kind of stats. But yeah, interesting. I mean, it wasn't the same as the first matchup they had 4-3, but I mean, that's typical to how Liverpool is right now. They just can't put multiple goals in a single match.
Yeah.
And Leeds is a hit or miss team. They'll give you whatever you got, but yeah, Liverpool's still dealing. I mean, Firmino was kind of out of it. Firmino was just all over the place in this match, and Salah didn't start. It was kind of a rotated side in a way, and I don't know. Klopp's really struggling to get some consistency out of his players, and now that they're strictly in the Premier League, which has kind of been their worst competition, is tough. They're gonna have to really close out the year strong if they want any chance of European competition.
Yeah, that's going to be really, really brutal. I have no idea what to expect in terms of where they finish. I can't see I can't see Arsenal really overtaking them
Your best,
especially.
your
But
best bet is to win out the Europa League.
I know, but that's a whole other thing that I'm worried about. I'm hoping maybe we can hopscotch Everton and at least secure ourselves a Europa League spot that way. Um,
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't know about winning it. I'm really kind of concerned about it. I know we looked good in that last leg or the final game of that last leg, but it could be really, really sus. So we'll have to see. But I think
Mhm.
that kind of closes our thoughts out about the Liverpool Leeds game. We'll move on to the next, which was Chelsea 0, Brighton 0. Chelsea looked very human in this game. There was a red card in this one, but it didn't come until the 92nd when Ben White was sent off. Brighton were actually the team with more offensive shots, but Chelsea had more shots on target. Certainly more constructed in their approach. 65% possession for Chelsea. They looked to be the better team, but couldn't get a goal past this Brighton defense, which isn't anything special.
Yeah, I didn't like Mount playing alongside Jorginho. I felt
No.
he would have performed a lot better in one of those
Yep.
inside forward roles where Ziyech and Pulisic played. But Havertz had his opportunities to score like straight at Sanchez a pair of times, and Ziyech whipping balls into the far post, doing his thing. I don't know. There were a lot of scary situations where we were bullshitting with it in the back with the build up, and Brighton brought the press, and Danny Welbeck off the post. Lallana skimmed it just wide. There were opportunities for Brighton to steal all 3 points, and if they did, it would have been well deserved because we just looked nonchalant on the ball a lot of the times, and it was really pissing me off. I just like, and Giroud came on so late. When he did, we had a guy out right up top that could hold the play up, and he even had a pair of chances. So
Yeah.
the game was there to win for either side, and nobody could do it. And Brighton are the kings of drawing games this year. I think that's their 13th draw this season, which is crazy in a year like this, just draw after draw. But
Yeah.
I mean, positive things moving forward is no injuries, no huge injuries were picked up, so we can look forward to moving on to a big top end matchup with West Ham and then a first leg against Real Madrid. So it's going to be a big week coming up for the Blues.
Yeah, Chelsea Football Club in the news headlines for Super League and also for their performance in the other leagues. I can't wait to see what goes on. Tottenham is the next. The Tottenham versus Southampton is the next fixture. This game went down yesterday. Ryan Mason's first game in charge. He's only 29 years old, which kind of blew my mind. I was searching that the other day. Behind a Gareth Bale goal in the 60th and a Heung-min Son penalty in the 90th, Tottenham managed to propel themselves to victory. Danny Ings, who we've said has been fraudulent in the past few weeks, was the one who managed to get Southampton ahead first. Ultimately, wasn't enough to propel Southampton to victory. Tottenham dominated this game, looked better under Ryan Mason with no direction than they did under Jose with whatever sort of fucked up direction he was giving them. So I think really Tottenham's issues had all come from manager shit this year. It's not as if they have a terrible team. I mean, they have Son, they have Lucas, they have Bale, and Domblé is a great player. Alderweireld's old, but he's solid. Dyer's all right. Reguilon's, I think, a fantastic option at left back. That was a great signing. Aurier, suspect, but Lloris is a decent keeper too. So that was the kind of team that they put out here, and this is a team that should beat the Southampton. And I don't know if that result would have been the same under Mourinho. I think he was really the issue.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And also, Dele Alli's still not getting any love from the new gaffer, the interim. His career's probably been drawn out at Spurs. He most likely should move on. If he can't get in the side with Ryan Mason at the helm, he's got some issues. But yeah, Bale getting a goal, nice little dink, far corner. It was sweet to watch. And then the VAR decision for Son to get a penalty had that drama. Really, Spurs were gifted these 3 points from that VAR decision, but anything that can help them get the points, they'll be okay with. Locks them up, joint 6 with Liverpool, better goal differential. I don't really have much to add. I didn't get a chance to watch the game. Danny Ings did get on the score sheet. Nice to see him get that with all of his injuries and the forms Southampton have been in. They were at a time there was a time when we were saying Southampton was looking like they were going to get relegated because it's just loss after loss, but they're starting to get a win or a draw every once in a while. So they're almost at that 40-point mark of safety, which is what everybody's after in that area of the table.
Right. Yeah, we'll have to see if they manage to get that. Moving on. Aston Villa 1, Manchester City 2. Two red cards in this game. John Stones in the 44th, Matty Cash in the 57th. Villa went ahead in the first minute with a John McGinn goal, only to be strangled from behind by City with efforts from Phil Foden, youth wonder child extraordinaire, and Rodri in the 40th. And then nothing in the second half besides that red card for Matty Cash.
Mm-hmm.
City definitely a better team here. Didn't expect Villa to be the team that pulled out ahead first, but alas, they were. They do still have a little bit of bang left, just not all that much. 3 shots on target for both clubs, but City dominated possession and normal shots. 72% possession to Villa's 28. City only losing 1 in their last 5, whereas Villa have lost 3 in their last 5, including this one. This panned out the way I thought it would. I just didn't see City having to come from behind, but it was good to see that they managed to do so. A little bit of a different team here too. No De Bruyne, Zinchenko on the left, no Cancelo, and then otherwise pretty similar to what they usually put out.
Yeah, it was a championship-worthy result for City, having to dig into the trenches with that red card, and luckily enough, Matty Cash gave in, made it even on the playing field. So, yeah, the better team did win on the day. Phil Foden having a spectacular moment with his goal, and Rodri getting a rare goal from the middle. Not really much else to add, like you said. Ederson back in the sticks, so no more mistakes like Zach Steffen gifting Chelsea the win in the FA Cup.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just they're carrying on their title run.
Yeah. It's just like it's so boring to talk about City because you know what to expect every week and you know that they're just gonna kind of win, and that's that.
They're just they don't have to focus on the league really. They just got to go to the Champions League now.
Yeah. So next game, Leicester City 3, West Brom 0. Jamie Vardy's back in scoring form. He managed to get one in the 23rd to open the game up. Johnny Evans added another 3 minutes later in the 26th, and then 10 minutes after that, Kelechi Iheanacho considered his electric form by adding another third goal. West Brom looked terrible again after having 2 great performances in a row, that battering of Chelsea being one of them, which I expected them to just come back down to earth now.
Yeah.
Just who knows, man? Like West Brom are such a fucking weird anomaly. I hate them so much.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Big Sam's chances got set back a little bit there, but they're still in good shape, I'd say, with the remaining games they have left in the season. It is obtainable. Yeah, it is obtainable. They got Aston Villa and Wolves next, where they're gonna definitely need at least 4 points, and they have Arsenal, Liverpool, and West Ham, and then Leeds. So it's asking a lot from Big Sam, but if there's anybody that can do it, it is him. He's never been relegated, so it'll put that record to the test. But only time will tell. And I honestly overthought this game with the coin flip. I just should have went with you straight up with Leicester. Jamie Vardy back on. Iheanacho got another one. He carries on that form from previous games, and it locks up their spot in that third place position. They're awkwardly in between United and Chelsea now, just in their own world.
Yeah, very strange. It's like Leicester Island.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, we'll move on. I think we're both probably losing some steam at this point. We're going to go over match day 33. Just go over our expectations quickly. Tomorrow, 3 p.m., Arsenal take on Everton Football Club. I am backing Arsenal because I have to. I think it could go either way. Don't see this one being a draw. Could be low scoring, but I think it's a decisive victory for one club. I'm going to go with Arsenal.
Yeah, I got a bad feeling VAR is going to play a big role in this match, and with Lacazette and Aubameyang out, you're really going to have to rely on those young guys up front, which I do think they can do, but I don't think it will happen on the day. I'm going to go with Everton here with the more experienced players. I think Allen in there is a huge plus. And I have a feeling me betting on Everton will help Arsenal's chances even more for your sake. So I'm going to back Everton here.
Awesome. All right, next one. Liverpool versus Newcastle. Sorry, my mouth is dry as fuck. I'm with Liverpool. I think Newcastle are frauds, as we have said. Liverpool win.
Hmm. Liverpool what?
Win. Hello?
Oh, I
Win.
thought you cut out for a second. You must have said it so fast.
Yeah, I must have. I'm not confident Liverpool win.
All right, that's fair. I mean, with Newcastle's form, anything can really happen, but it seems like Liverpool drags teams down to their level, even though Newcastle is on that level already. But
Yeah.
it might be a northern slobber knocker up there with the Geordies and then the
Slobber
Scousers.
knocker. It's
But
definitely going to be ugly, ugly screaming up there.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, you'd like to think if you're not thinking about past forms and all that, Liverpool easy, but the way Newcastle's playing in that, they're just grinding out results, and I think one more big result for them will secure the season. I don't see it happening here, though. I'm going to go with Liverpool just because Liverpool's in a situation more dire to where they need European football to satisfy their star players to keep them at the club. So I'm going to back Klopp and the boys.
Okay, sounds good. I'm with you. Next one is West Ham Chelsea, which is probably the game of the week. If you asked me, it's either that or Leeds United versus Man United. I'm going with West Ham.
Okay.
My good friend Cookie has adopted West Ham as his team.
All
He's
right.
decided that West Ham's going to be his team. He has a jersey now. He's a Lanzini jersey.
Balls.
So in his honor, I'm going to go with West Ham.
That's awesome. I didn't know that.
Yep.
Dope. Go on, you hammers.
Yeah, he's just decided finally after like kind of betting Premier League this season, asking for my help. He decided to adopt West Ham, which is cool. I think it's kind of nice for people to adopt like mid-table clubs. Arsenal's a mid-table club, so
Yeah, I mean it's gonna suck when they go back to reality. If I mean, not too long ago
sucking.
they were scraping relegation,
I know.
but yeah, gotta back the boys. Don't really see anything. I said earlier when we were reviewing the games that this is the best time to play West Ham right now when some of their key players are out. Um, don't know what's gonna happen with Lingard, his form if he drops off or not. I think he'll benefit with the style that Chelsea plays, a lot of building out of the back. There will be a few opportunities where uh, the midfield holds on to it too long and they'll jump on it. So he'll definitely have one or two key chances there. But I definitely think Conte should be playing in this game. I think he's essential against a lineup like West Ham with how Lingard and Bowen and Ben Rama operate. He
Yeah.
needs to stop a lot of that play before it begins. So I'm going to back Chelsea here. I'm definitely going to go with the under
Yeah.
because the way Chelsea plays is a lot of boring possession,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't think West Ham's going to have a lot of the ball. So I'm going to back the Blues.
Sounds good. Next one, Sheffield United versus Brighton. This is going to be really simple for me, also because
Um,
I'm being yelled at to go take my dog out. Brighton.
yeah, I'm going to go with a draw. Both teams are boring, and I think Sheffield can scrape a result.
Okay, sounds good to me. Next one, Wolves Burnley. This is the one that I'm going to say is a draw. I can see this being 1-1, 0-0. Both teams suck. Both teams can't score. Yeah, I'm going to go with draw.
It's at Wolves. What is their 10th? Oh, Burnley. Yeah, I'm going to back Wolves here. Their home records very good this season compared to Burnley away. Burnley are awful away, and I think it's gonna make that relegation battle close.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Sounds good to me. Moving on, Leeds United versus Man United. This is an old rivalry. It goes back very far in the Premier League. Manchester United, obviously the better team in that rivalry right now and in history's terms as well. And I'm going to go with them. I think that they win this, even if Leeds manage to go ahead first. United have the grit to come back. They've shown that to me finally, and I'm ready to commit. Man United.
Yeah, this match is at Ellen Road. Man United are the only team this season who have not lost a match away.
Yep.
16 matches, 10 wins, 6 draws. I'm going to continue that trend. I think United wins the result.
Okay, sounds good. Awesome. And then second to last game, Aston Villa versus West Bromwich Albion. I am going with Villa. West Brom are not who they promised to be. They just got hammered by Leicester. I think they get hammered again by this Villa team who looked okay against City last week. So I'm with a Villa win.
Yeah, they looked all right. Key players are going to be out, and this is Big Sam time. So I'm going to, for your record's sake, I'm going to go with West Brom here just to give you the result. I think,
Okay.
I honestly do think Big Sam can scrape out a game here against a weakened Villa side,
Mm-hmm.
who at times look to struggle. And with West Brom having more to play for, I think they do have a good chance to win the match.
Okay. Sounds good enough to me. Final game, Leicester City versus Crystal Palace. Straightforward for me. Leicester are scoring fantastically. They have Kelechi firing on all cylinders, and he's looking to be just about as good as a prime Vardy right now. So I'm going to go with Leicester. I think this Palace defense is slow, embolic, suspect. Leicester win. This game's at King Power, by the way.
Yeah, should be interesting. Crystal Palace haven't played a match since April 9th. A lot of time to rest, a lot of time to plan out for their opposition. They also do not have anything to play for that mid-table finish. Leicester just looking to secure the top 4. I do think Leicester wins the game. I think there'll be a lot of goal. I think we'll be surprised there will be a lot of goals in this matchup, with all that rest for Zaha and Eze and the boys. I do think it'll be an over hit, but I think Leicester on the day wins.
Okay. Sounds good. That concludes our preview for the upcoming game week. I don't know what game we'll be doing this weekend. I don't know what match schedule looks like. I think I'm going to be free both of those mornings as long as it's raining because I'm not going to want to play golf or do anything like that.
Yeah, it's looking like Sunday for me, but I have away games. If it gets rained out,
Yeah.
we'll probably do the United match.
Mm-hmm.
But if not, I don't really know. Might not
Yeah.
be able to do one.
It's totally cool. It's no big deal. But yeah, we'll let you guys know on
Honestly,
Twitter.
might be able to do the Arsenal game tomorrow.
Yeah, perhaps.
Might squeak something out of work, but yeah,
Um,
other than that, thanks guys for watching.
yep.
Follow us on all socials at Post20Pod. If you guys are listening to us, audio, SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, drop us a follow. Leave us a 5-star review or whatever review. If you guys don't think we're doing good enough, let us know what we can improve on. If you're a if you're a visual watcher and you're watching us on our YouTube channel right now, Post20, spelled out TWENTY. Subscribe, hit the notification bell so you guys are notified whenever we start a stream, post a new episode, drop some clips, whatever. It's free. It's not going to hurt. Tell your friends. Trying to get up the subscriber count. Other than that, Evan, anything else you want to add, plug, or say?
Nope, that's it, guys. Thanks again for watching. We'll catch you next week. All right. Take care,
All right.
everybody.